Hello Libra, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn, Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Alright, what do we have for Libra? What's that? So far, so good. Let's see what we got. Okay. So, I'm not really seeing, not really bad cards, I would say. Let's get into it, of course, and see what we got here. Starting off, fertility and prosperity. Now, the two of these together is kind of like, I feel like you're going from one win and sliding right into the second win. Now, I feel like this might be kind of like splitting hairs, but it's almost like something finally went right. I feel like that energy is there. Like, oh, this finally went right. And you're kind of like, now that I figured it out and this is going right here, let me just keep that momentum going and let's take it right over here and duplicate that success. I feel like that's how I'm starting off with this. Kind of like, aha, this finally went the way it was supposed to. Great, cool. Let's also do that over here. Let's see if we can duplicate this. And it's kind of like we quickly try to move it right over here. Kind of like, this went right. Okay, let's do it here too. Really quick. Let's just move it over here really quick. And I do feel like that's working. Nobody seems to be standing in your way. You're moving quickly. You are moving quickly. So it's not like nobody's really standing in your way. Nobody's really questioning anything. The Seven of Swords is kind of like people are just not bothering with it. What does that mean? Whatever success you had over here, you're duplicating it over on the other side, other piece, another place, whatever. Nobody seems to be bothering you. When they get the Seven of Swords, it's like somebody might be noticing it that usually gives you a hard time. But they don't seem to want to be bothered with it, so they're like, yeah, whatever makes you happy. They just seem to be like, yeah, whatever. And they just seem to be walking away from it. They're also, see, this might be the catch. Just be careful. When you get that second win without any type of challenge, the person who usually gives you a hard time might be centering on their own success. I don't really think that's going to work against you. But that might be why. I feel like you need to be aware of that. That's why. That may even be like something that, you know, can help you move forward. Kind of like if you keep an eye on them and when they have their own success going for them and they're very wrapped up in that, you can take that as like, oh, okay, let me see if now I can do what I want over here. They're more than likely, as long as it's not too far out of bounds, I don't have to worry about them. Out of bounds for them. Like, they don't like this, they don't like that. As long as they don't cross the lines too much with them, with things that they don't like, they're more than likely just going to leave me alone because they're centered on their success. Okay, so this makes more sense because I'm getting the Four of Wands is somebody who's very bound, very stuck with something, not stuck, but very connected to something, has a lot of responsibilities, but happy with that responsibility. There's a lot of stress with it here with the Ten of Wands. They don't want it to fail, but they're hyper concentrating on that success. It also feels like there's something that's successful for them, but they have to stay on point. They can't be dividing their attention or their time. So instead of bothering you, they're just centering on that. If you see that, I do feel like that can go to your benefit. Kind of like, oh, I need to change some things. They're tied up with that. Okay, cool. Let me just, as long as I don't push it too far, we should be cool. So let me just kind of move things where I want them to go. Cool. You should be figuring that out, especially with the Wisdom card on your side. Usually Libra sees a few different angles themselves, and they're usually pretty astute, and they're like, that's what's going on there, okay. So as long as that's going on, they're not going to give me a hard time. But you seem, like, the Wisdom is also saying, within respect, within certain, like, you know what I mean? If you're trying for an inch, you can't get that mile, but you might get a foot, you know. I can get 12 inches, like I can go 12 inches. If I wanted 1 inch, I'll try for the 12. Like normally I get the 1 inch, But at this point, I can get the 12. If I try to go for the full mile, though, they're going to come out. They're going to be all over me about it. You know how far you can go with things. You got the wisdom there. Because I feel like whoever this other person is, they're very caught up in that stuff, right? I'm getting like, you're seeing your moment here, so you're kind of like, wait, they're still tied up in that. Okay, let me move a couple other things around. I feel like you're moving in quickly. Kind of like, let me strike while the iron is hot. Let me do this. Okay, cool. 8 of Wands is talking about speed. The King of Cups in the environment is telling me things seem to be going quite well. You're moving things around, but you're not the only person that likes this. Other people are benefiting from it too. It's going well for a few people. This is good. Organization comes in with peace. You're changing things. You're creating a different type of structure. Seems to be working for people better. If I can get in frame here, see if I can try that. Seems to be fine. I don't see a problem until, excuse me. My gosh, there's a freaking hair in my nose all of a sudden. Gross. Okay. Oh my god. All of a sudden my nose itches crazy. Sorry. Oh my god. It won't stop. That's crazy. Alright, so this shows up in the environment. This is a strong person. This is a strong, strong person. This is a very vocal person. It's like all of a sudden somebody realizes all these changes. Other people like these changes though. But I feel like it's like all of a sudden somebody realizes, wait, what's the Libra doing? Wait, what? What is the Libra doing? I feel like that's going on. Like, what? What? Very vocal person, very strong person. I feel like they're stepping forward. The thing is, the changes you make or have made at this point, the changes you've made at this point, I think they're good. I think you're going to stick with those. Yeah, I do. But the reason is, these are not changes just for you. Other people like them too. And other people want to stick with it. Other people don't want this to change. No matter how much your nose is itching. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. That's the 4. Yeah, no, the rules aren't changing. The changes you made are there. Best possible decisions tell me it's working out for everybody. Whoever this other person is, they're very vocal about it. But other people are helping you with this. Other people believe in these changes. They don't want it to go. They don't want it to regress. Now my lip is itching. Wow. Okay. My whole face is starting to have tics. What's up with that? I feel like this is like, it's like it's making me nervous, like I'm going to have to argue with somebody, or that somebody's going to track me down and we're going to have a real issue, and I'm like, do we have to? Like, can't we just get along? Can't we just talk it out? Like, why do you have to have such an issue? But I'm also getting other people it's not really happening. I don't think this person is confronting you directly. I feel like other people are stepping in front of them and kind of like, well, let's talk about it. I also feel like they're trying to complain to other people, kind of like, why did you let this happen? And they're like, well, we want this to happen. This is a good thing. This is not bad. The Libra didn't do this just on their own. We also wanted this to happen too. Other people are supporting you on this. I'm getting a very strong energy with that. With the Ace of Swords here, safe home protection. What's the last one? Divine guidance. This is good. What you've changed is good. I'm getting that this is really good. Like it's slow. There's a slow, stagnant feel to this, and I'm trying to understand what's going on. You might be in the dark? No, I don't think that's right. Like, you know there's a commotion going on here. You hear about this person complaining. Other people just seem to be working it out. They don't want it to change. Divine guidance, again. Safe home protection. They don't want it to change. This is what works best. Ace of Swords there in the environment. There's a lot of communication going back and forth. But I feel like you've already done your work on this. Other people are sorting it out. Other people are keeping it in place. In the environment, health and good cheer. Whoever this person is, I find it hard to believe they're agreeing with you. I feel like they're just kind of going along with it. Other people want this, though. Other people. I feel like it's other people want this. And the person who stands in your way, usually, they know it came from you, and I feel like it's almost like that's why they don't like it. Because the Libra said it, I don't like it. I almost feel like that's the energy I'm coming up with. But at the same time, there's enough support here that they're not approaching you about it. Because if they approach you about it, I feel like other people are going to be kind of like, I thought we solved that. You know what I mean? Other people talk this out with them. So if they approach you later about this, and maybe you want to change things, you're going to say, well, this other person said I had to change things, or they didn't like it, so I'm looking at this. And then some other people are going to be like, I thought I already talked to that person. I thought that person was okay. So I'm getting good cheer and health is like, the good cheer is the support you have around you. Not the adverse person, but the other people are kind of like, this was working out great. And the health is kind of like they're keeping it going. It's going well. As this keeps moving forward, I'm getting protection and inspiration. And there's other words there, but I'm getting like you're understanding who you got to work with. I feel like you're getting a clear sense about the people that work with this person who doesn't like you. They just seem to not like you. I feel like there's no two ways about it, and I think you know. I really do think you know. This person just, no matter if you say it's blue, they're like, why? It's not even like they're arguing the color. They're like, who cares if it's blue? Like, you could say, that truck just pulled in over there. They're like, why are you wasting my time with that information? They would, like, go at you in that way. You know what I mean? Like, well, because we're going to need that truck later. We don't need it now, though, so why are you even bringing it up? Because I want us to plan for it. I think you're wasting our time. Like, I feel like they would just get in your way and they'd just be a pain in your ass. They just seem to not like you for whatever reason. I don't know if there's anything rational with it, but that's how they seem to treat you. I feel like that's the normal if this reading is hitting. But I feel like now that you see these other people that work with that same energy that's just adverse to you, you're starting to see another way to handle things. Kind of like, all right, I want some changes to happen here. If I can convince these other couple people first, I get them agreeing or like work out the details with them. I want this. They also want something similar. We all work together. We decide what we want. They're more compatible with me. They're more they'll more assimilate to what I want to happen. So if I can make a success with them, they'll deal with the one who gives me a hard time. They'll take care of that for me. That's what I'm getting with inspiration and protection. It says Isis inspiration and psychic protection, but I'm getting inspiration and protection. You're finding a way to work around this person who's always like a pain in your butt. These other people who you've helped out, they do like you. They honestly like you. They don't seem to understand why this other person has such an issue with you. They don't seem to be worried about it. They're not intimidated by this person. So if that person has a problem, they have no problem standing their ground. I'm getting the Aphrodite's love spell is for you. Like, they do like how you do things. They do think you have good ideas. They also look at you like somebody that helps yourself and them. And it gives an honest feeling to the situation. You come into the situation like there's certain things you want out of it. But you're not looking to make it just about you. You want something for you, and like, here, let's all get something out of it. That's your attitude towards it. I want something, what do you want? Okay, what do you want? Like, how do we all get what we want? They like that. They feel like it's very honest, like you're coming into it like you definitely want something, so it's very honest, but you're also looking to help them get what they want too. They like that. They feel like you're right on point with it, because you're not like playing any games. You're not acting like, you're just doing things out of the graciousness of your heart. You're coming forward to these people very honestly, like, this is what I want to get out of this situation. What do you want to get out of it? Okay, what do you want to get out of it? And we all come together. I don't know why I have to keep explaining that. Like, is there something I'm missing on it? I don't know. There's more choices coming together. I feel like this other person might be less and less of a problem going forward. I feel like they're getting kind of like trapped or contained. Maybe contained is a better word. Because they feel like they're getting kind of like regulated by these other people. You seem to like really work with these people who are respectful to you. They're respectful to you. They handle the problem. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to have a problem with that. They probably realize that's why you're doing that. They don't have a problem with it. because you get something out of it. You also make sure they get something out of it. That's literally your power moment, your advantage. I want to say that's your advantage. They trust you that you'll make sure they also get something. They trust that you understand. They'll help you as long as you help them. It's cool. They seem to, that's how they view you. I'm getting the harvest here is like, I feel like it's a repetitive harvest. You seem to be just careful of this other adverse energy, and I think that's smart. You got to keep your eye on it. You do. But going forward with the Two of Wands, be aware of the choices you're making. You might want to like space it out a little bit. Be careful to not do too much at once. I feel like if you do too much at once, that adverse energy might get really amped up and might explode and freak out on you. But if you keep taking it slowly but surely, moment by moment, you don't put too much forward at one time, but you make sure like when you do, it's on the level. You know, the people who need to know stuff know stuff. I feel like this can go a long time without any hiccups. You just may have to be careful how often, like your rate of return, like pace it out well. Because I feel like if you have a moment where you're like one after the next, after the next, after the next, that's when this adverse person's gonna pop off and freak out. But if you keep it slow, so like these other people you're working with can get in there and smooth it out with this person and keep smoothing it out, you might not even have to deal with them really too much, at least not in an adverse way, not too much anyway. Seems like it makes your life a lot more comfortable. I think we're there. It just seems to like the energy's kind of dropping, so I think we got whatever the message is. I think it's there. I almost feel like for a lot of you, you're having an issue with a certain person, and they're trying to give you a heads up on a better way to deal with them, so it doesn't have to be so stressful. I think that's what a lot of this is about for most of you, or for certain people at least. That's for sure. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.